Hi, good morning, everybody. I hope everybody can see me and hear me, and appreciate everybody joining our webinar again. And today is a very good topic. And thanks for people from over Hawaii, Philippines. I saw some people from Los Angeles and Canada, and also from a few South Asian countries, and also Hong Kong. So yeah, okay. The reason why actually neuropathy is important, because a lot of people don't realize when your diabetes are progressive or even pre-diabetic, it will start affecting some of the nerves. And when you start off, some of the nerve is mainly start off very early stage and so forth. So, okay, thank you very much. Sorry for the technical issue, because I need to hook up with Facebook, because people tell me that Facebook is not there. Okay, no problem. But anyway, hey, the reason why as I was talking, the reason why I have now organized this webinar, because a lot of the people who are even pre-diabetic stage, they start experience a very low-grade nerve sensation differences, which they was worrying about, wow, what happened here? And which I understand, because I know nerve damage is a ongoing serious issue for many diabetes and maybe potential some pre-diabetic. So you really have to prevent yourself getting that issues, okay? So that's why we thought that this would be a good webinar to at least to let you understand, go deeper, and so you understand what kind of nerve damage we're talking about. And this is a really important sort of better understanding, so you can prevent yourself got into this problem. And so that's why we established this webinar. And it was interesting though, you know, when I talked to many doctors in Hong Kong, and many of the diabetic patients and pre-diabetic patients talking in Hong Kong, majority of them actually never did say, hey, you know, you watch out, you might have some potential nerve problems. No one mentioned it. So it's kind of, you know, information was not necessarily provided for many of the people. So it's really, at the end of the day, nerve damage is actually one of the major and more common problems, besides your eyes, besides your heart, besides your kidney. Nerve damage is one of the common items. So that's why I thought this would be very good and very helpful for our people, our group, from people from Hawaii, from Los Angeles, from Canada and Philippines, and the South Asian country and Hong Kong. So that's why I want to talk about that. Hi， 各位朋友，我係 Andrew Lau Lowsutea President， 你好，Lowsutea Creator 其實咧，點解我會做依個 webinar 咧？因為好多夜晚咧，好多堂友啦，就即係 ask 啲 information 啦，就我唔知點解咧，啲感覺係有少問題嘅，或者有啲係 affect 到胃啊，好多不同地方嘅。原來咧，我都同醫生講咗好多咧，好多人咧其實都冇機會啊，其實就醫生冇機會解釋，原來糖尿病或者前期患病咧，你都可能會有機會咧係會involve 到嗰個 nerve damage 嘅，即係神經系統嘅損壞，因為糖尿病係好 common 咧喺神經上嘅損壞係好多嘅，咁所以變咗嚟講，呢個係一個 important topic， 所以我哋應該係重視翻佢，咁然後你就唔會希望控制啲糖唔會變咗你係會有呢個問題出現啦，咁呢個就係我希望今日做到嘅東西。Okay, so without further delay, thank you very much for your busy time, joining our webinar, and we will start our webinar now. Today's topic is how to slow down progression of diabetic neuropathy. Okay, so and let me just catch a few minutes of everybody who basically new to the group, because I still feel quite a few number of people in here which I don't recognize the name, so I think they are just new to us. But anyway, as you remember, diabetic, you don't get well. All you got to do is just control your disease, and seriously, you have to control your blood sugar, and you have to make sure that pre-diabetic, the same thing, you have to control blood sugar. I found a lot of people, by the way, they are pre-diabetic, which identify these pre-diabetic strictly in surprise. And then many of them already actually in a very late stage of pre-diabetic, almost to 6.5. So they actually did not even know they're there. And then bang, they are crossing the 6.5 range of 6.5, become a diabetic already. So very quick. So I found that a lot of pre-diabetic really need to focus how to control the blood sugar. And certainly they have to have proper exercising, dieting, and weight management. And certainly, all the white food, meaning the soda, rice, although it has to really cut down. And certainly drink Lowsutea would be extremely helpful, because I found that more and more people now, the group actually was interesting. More and more people now drinking Lowsutea when the cholesterol going up. They start drinking Lowsutea and they can even prevent that going into the pre-diabetic stage. Wow, that is really good. So anyway, let's learn about that a little bit more. As you know, diabetes is all go to 4 stages, right? 4 stages. Now, the first stage is your LDL goes up, and that damage the B cell, which is the instant come of the B cell. The B cells will take the sugar into the cells. If they damage that, more and more B cell come, it's not going to work. So you're going to get insulin resistant. Sugar is going to go up in the vessels. So when sugar goes up vessels and the cholesterol get together, the blood becomes thick. Your second stage will come in, and that would be the most detrimental state if we continue to do that, because what happened is going to form plaque throughout the body, including your brain, kidney, everywhere. Now, first of all, 1 or 2 years, not much different, but when you get to 5, 10 years, your problem is going to come, and this is not reversible. You know, where once you plug, you can also say, I have a roto-rooter to clean your vessel. It won't work. It will just continue to plug. So this is where your major problem of diabetes will come around, and your blood pressure second stage will goes up. Now, a lot of people now is really getting smart. They were saying that, you know what, I'm starting to drink Lowsutea, and or my blood pressure going up. And when they drink Lowsutea, you know what, the cholesterol going down. So, and the blood pressure going down. So net result, they never got to the stage 3, which is the issue of A1C move beyond 5.7. Well, what is A1C? Basically, everybody have a hemoglobin, and the hemoglobin is basically have amount of sugar, percentage amount of sugar attached to this hemoglobin here, and to measure where you're at. If you're under 5.7, you're a normal person. If you're between 5.7 and 6.4, you are a pre-diabetic. And now people are now really getting to be more smarter. They say, hey, you know what, if I start drinking my Lowsutea, I even prevent myself the cholesterol going up. I prevent myself the blood pressure going up, because they won't plug in your blood sugar all over the place and plugging your vessels. So I'm not even able to get myself into the the pre-diabetic stage. But if you are, you better start treating yourself with like exercise, dieting, and so forth, so you can prevent this A1C continue to go up from 5.7 over to 6.4 and above. And drinking Lowsutea definitely help you. Now, the sad part is at this stage, when your A1C between 5.7 and 6.4, you have no drugs to help you to lower this blood sugar, cholesterol, and blood pressure. So doctor will basically tell you that you are pre-diabetic now. A lot of them, they will already give drugs because your cholesterol going up and blood pressure, but not the blood sugar part. So maybe perhaps you can start really doing your Lowsutea. Then you can actually start preventing yourself moving to the 6.5, which is diabetes. Stage 4, you're 6.5, you are diabetes. And once you confirm your diabetes, you cannot go back. This is it. And your whole life will be rated as a diabetic patient. And you certainly will need to control through drugs and through all sort of exercise and so forth to prevent yourself to get worse. Okay. Now, 各位朋友，嗱，記住咧，糖尿病係唔會好嘅，只係能夠控制。咁其實有3樣嘢咧，前期患病同埋普通病人咧都係一式一樣嘅。佢要減低血糖啦、膽固醇啦，同埋仲有呢個血壓啦。咁你又要帶上啦，即係食材啦、exercise 啦、磅數啦，要全部要控制嘅。咁千祈唔好食即係白粉嘅東西啦，即係飯啊東西。咁每個人咧都 go through 4個 stage 嘅糖尿病嘅。咁其實第一個 stage 咧就係胰島素 唔係第一個 stage 係你個LDL 壞嘅膽固醇上升，咁就 damage 嗰啲胰島素出嚟嘅 B cell， 咁 B cell 就唔帶啲糖入去 cell 裏邊啦，咁佢糖味已經高啦，咁個胰島素亦都繼續出嗰個 B cell 出嚟，越咗咁就可以有個叫 insulin resistant。咁但係糖加呢個膽固醇咧好弊啦，因為咧佢就會 become 啲血好結啦，咁你就 move to 一個 second stage 就係血壓上升，因為咧佢會開始塞成身咁塞。咁成日塞嘅時候咧，你血一定會上升嘅，因為少咗啲位喺血管裏邊啊嘛。咁呢個情況下咧，就係呢個所謂糖尿病最大問題嘅損壞問題啊，因為全身係咁塞，1-2年塞冇問題，3年塞冇問題，5至10年後好有問題，因為呢啲嘢係唔會翻轉頭嘅。咁好多時咧，你糖一路繼續上升咧，咁你就會變咗第3期咧叫做Diabetic 即係前期患病啦，呢個咧就 measure 你紅血球有幾多 percent 嘅百分點糖黐住個紅血球。如果你5.7以下，咁你係普通人啦；5.7至6.4以上咧，你就係前期患病者。但係呢個咧係仲未有藥食喎，因為醫生未有俾藥食啊，多數就係只係食可能血壓高或者係呢個膽固醇高嘅藥嘅啫。咁但係呢個段時間咧係仲未有食，咁所以飲去糖茶好有幫助。因為現在啲人咧都多啲了解就話，喂，我其實已經喺呢個膽固醇高嘅時候可以飲咯，同埋話血壓高飲咯，咁其實已經降低咗膽固醇，咁佢變咗嚟講第3個期咧佢都去唔到嘅，即係都冇去到啊，咁咪變咗更加身體健康，一路 delay 咗你個前期患病嘅情況啦。咁如果你真係做唔到咧，第4個 stage 你就變咗糖尿病啦。OK。So really important to ask yourself, really whether you want to be very, very good in prevent yourself get into pre-diabetic stage. So if you have cholesterol going up or blood pressure going up, maybe perhaps you need to start doing your Lowsutea already. Don't wait until you get to pre-diabetic to drink, because what happens if you have that, you know what? Wow. You actually prevent yourself in all kind of problems that might be come along with your pre-diabetic program, because as you know, they have no medication for you. Now, how Lowsutea work basically is very simple. Basically, there are 2 items in there. There's guava leaves, which delay the absorption of sugar into the cells. And then there is a bitter melon. The thing is this, guava leaf is delay the absorption of the sugar into the vessels, so you have less sugar in the vessels. Then bitter melon basically is act as a increased insulin sensitivity, so they will basically help get more sugar into the cell, because the more insulin sensitivity comes on, it's like a booster to all the B cells taking the blood sugar into the cells. And then whatever excess sugar, they will dump that out through urine, cholesterol dump out through urine, and also salt will dump out urine. So net result, you're going to have few things dumps out, and is very good, because what happened is when the few things dumps out, your blood sugars go down, your cholesterol go down, your salt go down, then eventually your blood pressure go down, plus it detox. So people who drink Lowsutea, they tend to go to urination more often, but that's okay, because that's where you want to do is you want to continue to get all your poison out of your body. So it's really good, because when you get more poison out of the body, it's better you are, okay? Rather than you keeping all the salt in there. A lot of the elderly folks drank Lowsutea, they tend to say, hey, you know, my swell went down. My blood pressure is getting better. And my cholesterol definitely improved. And my blood sugar went down from high 10, A1C is like 10%, all the way down to 6. I said, wow, that's really cool, because that is what you want to do all the time, okay? 各位同學，嗱，去糖茶咧，其實有2種嘢嘅，裏面有個番石榴葉啦，佢就 delay 咗啲糖進入去血管裏邊。第2樣嘢就有呢個苦瓜啦，苦瓜咧係幫助啲糖咧增加啲胰島素敏感率啦，就帶翻啲糖入細胞裏邊。咁但係有 excess 糖咧就點咧？佢就喺個尿嗰度掉咗出嚟，同埋你嗰個膽固醇咧掉埋出嚟，同埋仲有咧就係鹽都掉咗出嚟。當你3樣掉咗出嚟嘅時候咧，血壓都會降低嘅，同埋有排毒啦。所以變咗嚟講，呢個係一個十分好天然嘅東西咧，幫助你係 繼續一路幫你係令到啲糖降低、膽固醇降低同埋鹽降低，咁你就變咗血壓都降低埋，咁你繼續咧係俾你更加多機會咧能夠繼續身體健康嘅。嗱，if you do not do anything, what happened to your body? You know, unfortunately, it's really sad because what happened if you don't do anything, most likely your body will start getting plugs everywhere. Remember on the slide on stage 2, you already got plugging everywhere. So you're going to have risk of stroke. You're going to have risk of cataract, you know, your eyes, glaucoma. Eye damage is one of the very common, you know, diabetic problem. And certainly you're going to have heart disease, you know, pancreas is not going to work. Nerve damage is, again, a very common problem for diabetes. So, or pre-diabetic will be start off that because it will damage the sugar plug up, is damage all the nerve. And so high blood pressure and damaged vessels is also very common. Amputation, yes, when you get serious, is got a real bad. Diabetic nephropathy, again, this is a very common. 70% of the people diabetic have diabetic neuropathy. Whoa, man, that's 70% have some form of diabetic neuropathy. You know, your kidneys start failing. And if you get down to less than 30% of kidney function, you know what? Dialysis is going to come. Wow, that would be tremendous life quality problem for you. So don't go into this stage, okay? And certainly because you can't feel yours, that's 30% of people have sexual dysfunction. Pregnancy complication, meaning that you're gestation diabetic, most likely you will end up will be some form of you know, diabetic if you had gestation diabetic before. So you got to watch that, okay? 嗱，各位朋友，如果你乜嘢都唔做咧，咁啊弊啦，因為咧 most likely 咧你又會中風風險啦，有白外障啦，或者青光眼啦，同埋又亦都你胰臟會壞啦。嗱，最大問題咧，60% 嘅病人有好多時係有心臟病，因為塞個血管啊，咁神經系統亦都係好大，血管血壓上升，亦都全部多數都有嘅。咁仲有咧。如果你 uncontrolled diabetes 就斬咗佢去啦，咁同埋咧好多70% 嘅糖尿患病者係會有腎病嘅糖尿腎嘅病嘅，咁同埋咧仲有性功能會損壞啦，同埋咧就懷孕者咧亦都有好大問題嘅，因為如果佢係有 gestation diabetes 咧，咁將來一定會好機會係高呢個有diabetes。So our company has something very good. So we give you every week a lecture. So better understand all the different diseases, how to manage our diabetes. Now, majority of the company or majority of people offer mainly a diet. But what we're doing here is we really want to give you a comprehensive, not diet, but total idea how to manage your diabetes. Like, for example, in diet, we make sure you have low sugar drinking, diet carb control, and so forth and so forth. We'll show you about exercise, 10,000 steps per day, and 150 minutes per week. And then your weight control, okay, your BMI less than 23, and doctor webinar, which you hear every day, every week rather. And then we'll help you to move your A1C from 10 plus to all the way to 5.7. You might say, hey, you know, I don't think I can do 5.7. No worry, because we are having a lot of patients who are very, very serious. They actually got themselves up to 5.7, but they need to take work because they need to write down all the things they eat, exercise. And if they see that, they really drop down from 10 all the way to 6 and eventually go 5.7. But it takes works, okay? 各位同學，我哋好特別咧，我哋個公司咧有5個 program 嘅。第一個 program 咧就係點去飲食啦，控制啦 ，exercise 啦，運動啦，點控制磅數啦，同埋我哋依家每個禮拜你聽到 Dr. Webinar 啦，仲有點能夠度你血糖咧，能夠令到你個 A1C 咧由10去到5.7。其實呢個因為一細嘅病咧，你一定要知道點控制，唔係淨係食材咁簡單。如果你淨係食材咧 ，mostly 你係未必控制得到嘅。Okay, so today our webinar is very, very important because we're going to talk about one, well, what is diabetic neuropathy and what type of diabetic neuropathy, and we dig to be deep. We did a lot of research and basically give you a little much more deeper information. And then how they manage it, and then we will summarize it. 今日嘅節目咧係好特別嘅，因為我特別咧知道咧好多人都唔了解嘅。咁我特別咧係喺神經變壞嘅時候咧，糖尿病神經變壞咧講多啲乜嘢叫變壞咧，有幾多種咧，同埋常見嘅問題咧，同埋點樣控制咧、管理咧，同埋點樣預防咧。咁今日嘅講就係呢樣嘢啦。Now, as you know, diabetic neuropathy usually are fairly slow, progressive problem. Maybe from the first, even your pre-diabetic started, but it's very little, and you might not even feel about it, but you know there's some change. And I talk to a lot of people. They say, "Hey, I feel a little numb, tingling feeling here and there." So they are just starting. So you know that is coming along, but because it's such a long time, maybe 5, 6 years before you can really see the actual problem, you might not recognize how to do something about it. But this is where you got to start. Now, usually you always a high blood glucose, meaning high blood sugar in your diabetic, and you are not really controlled that well, and that harm your entire body. And usually this is where your diabetic neuropathy will start showing up. And over 50% of people who are diabetes have some form of neuropathy problem for them. And making them, this is one of the most common problem for diabetes, okay? But unfortunately, a lot of people don't talk about it, so no one will kind of know. Matter of fact, I talked to quite a few people. You mean diabetes will affect your nerve? And so, you know, really we need to start educating so they start identifying that and they can actually start getting both early treat, because once it's damaged, it can't reverse. So we need to provide this information for you so you would not start learning about it, because this is such a slow progression problem. So this webinar will give you all the sign and symptom, what type of diabetic neuropathy, so you can able to learn about it and start preventing and lower your neuropathy risk. That is today's webinar. I think it's a really good thing to start learning about that. And I think that is something that you will be basically enjoy after you listen to this. 嗱，各位朋友，其實咧，好多人都唔知道，原來咧，糖尿患病咧係好多咧，有50%嘅人咧都有呢個神經系統損壞嘅。咁但係因為呢個係好長嘅地方，係好似即係唔係話第一、第二年啊，可能5、6年後你先有呢個感覺，或者你開始有些少感覺，都怪怪地喎，有即啲手腳好似有啲，尤其是腳方面咧，更加係有個咩 tingling feeling 啊，嗰啲 feeling 開始有少異常嘅感覺咧。咁呢個咧係開始已經係有少少改變啦。咁因為佢係好慢改變咧，咁你係可能唔為意啦。咁我今日希望咧能夠令到你咧係俾到一啲概念俾你，咁你繼續去預防。咁然後之後咧你就開始最低限度控制到佢唔會變咗呢個咁嘅變化，能夠令到你將來咧係會有一個好大嘅問題，係降低你風險。呢個就今日講書嘅問題啦。So what is diabetic neuropathy? Now, diabetic neuropathy is just type of nerve damage caused by high blood sugar, basically, because the blood sugar, remember, the blood sugar and the cholesterol all start plugging up, and it will be plugging up to all the blood vessel plus the nerve. So it's that damage the nerve. So 50% of the diabetic patients is actually affected by this disease, and it's very common. I talk to many doctors say, yeah, that is one of the more problems that they have. And how the doctor usually identify is you're really having that problem. They use a little plastic wire, and very soft wire, and tickle your leg and see, do you have that feeling or you have no feeling? And so mainly to check how much feeling has. So they usually use this to start off, to just tickle with the with a plastic whistle and to see where you're at. And remember, 50% of the patient tend to have this problem. So it's a common problem. But unfortunately, majority of people don't talk about it. 嗱，各位同友，因為咧，其實糖尿病神經系統損壞咧係一個好常見嘅問題，50%嘅病人咧係有呢樣嘢嘅。咁同埋仲有一樣嘢，呢個一定係啲朋友咧係開始血糖開始上高啦。咩叫高啊？好多時咧啲人都係大10啊，或者8.5啊、9以上嗰啲人咧，成日都係咁咧。呢個問題咧就好多時好快會出現。咁多數係點樣出現咧？就啲人咧，醫生去嗰度咧就用一個膠嘅一條線啦，去撩下隻腳啦，咁令到你嘅腳咧係感受到一啲即係係咪有感覺咧，或者冇感覺咧？咁佢咧就可以斷定到你個係咪開始有問題出現啦。嗱，呢個係一個好常見嘅問題啊，所以咧呢樣嘢咧你要記住咧係唔容易咧係即係忽略嘅 ，OK？ So, let's talk about the type of diabetic neuropathy, okay? Because you really have to understand how many types. Actually, there's quite a few types. So actually, it is an important lesson to understand the different type of neuropathy. 咁糖尿病神經病神經系統損壞咧，係其實有幾種嘅。咁今日會講晒俾你聽。第一個咧就係 the first one is peripheral neuropathy. In other words, you will start feeling all around your peripheral, meaning your extremity, and most common is actually really started from the feet and leg and following the hands and arm. Now, feet and leg is the most common. That's why when you first saying, hey, I feel my feet kind of feel funny, a little kind of numb, or a little bit tingling, or a little pain. So usually they start out with some sensitivity and pain, and they also get numbness. Now, eventually, as time goes on, is get muscle weakness because you're not walking with it too. It start getting infected. You got cramp, and foot problems got exhibit with ulcers, infection, and eventually involved with bone and joint pain. Wow, that would be terrible because you can't walk anymore, or you walk, you have all kind of suffer. Imagine that. So you don't want to be yourself. Eventually, move in peripheral neuropathy. I don't think I want to be there because if you do, you're losing many of the mobility. It's just get worse and worse and worse, okay? So you got to start understanding this and you can identify this so you can prevent this occurrence down the road. 嗱，各位朋友，周邊神經系統咧，呢個壞咧係一個好常見嘅糖尿病嘅。咁多數咧係由腳開始，同埋開始腳之後咧就去腿啦，然後就手啦，或手腕啊嗰啲地方啦。好多時咧你就咁講咧係有少即係 tingling feeling 啊，有少少冧啊，冇乜感覺啊，麻痹啊。咁但係一路落去咧就弊家伙啦，開始咧就會麻痹後咧你力咧又冇咗咯喎，嗰啲肌肉冇咗力咯喎，又開始感染咯，又抽筋咯喎。咁同埋咧，仲係咧隻腳部咧開始有瘡啦，亦都骨骼有問題啦，咁關節又痛啦，哇！其實做咗落去嘅時候咧，你行路咧係會大影響嘅。所以呢個咧唔可以話冇乜所謂啫，唔係冇嘅所謂，係好有所謂。因為咧，如果你係去到呢個情況下咧，你行咧係好難行嘅。So the next one. We talk about peripheral, the extremity. Now we talk about autonomic neuropathy. In other words, this is where you affect many of the actual organ, and the organ is going to be affect your heart, your bladder, your digestive system, which is like the vagus nerve that affect your stomach, all those areas, sex organ, and then eye. Now. This is something that is quite common to many of the patients who have diabetes because when that happens, it affects your bladder, your bowel problem. So that's why many people have problems like constipation. It's so common. Constipation is something that many of the diabetes have this problem, okay? Because the nerve doesn't conduct too well. So moving the bowel movement down, it doesn't work as well. And then you have some of them you have a diarrhea, and then some of them have urine leakage. So you start, feel, hey, maybe I need diapers. Okay. Now, Some of them because the vagus nerve affected, so you're going to start getting loss of appetite. Some even have vomiting. Some even have nausea. And when you have eye problem, and I saw quite a few were more serious diabetes people who have constantly with a high blood sugar as 160, 180, meaning that they always have blood sugar as 8, 9 all the time. And they're elderly people. So the eye problem is they can't adjust the light. They can't see far. They can't see near. You know, they really have real problem. In fact, a lot of these people are so confused and they can't walk out the street because they said, gee, I don't know this is the right place. And really start getting to this stage, they start all kind of also affected psychologically because they're going to say, wow, like the whole world is getting down. And so I got to be real. My mother-in-law, who has diabetes, has exactly this problem. And I was going to say, how come you don't want to walk out the street? Because they see the street become dark, even though it's blue sky. So this is the kind of problem that you will see. And certainly the problem with sexual response and sweating is also the autonomic neuropathy. So for people are so real, so you don't want to get yourself in that boat. So make sure, you want to make sure control your blood sugar not to get into there, okay? 嗱，各位朋友，主神經系統變壞咧，呢個咧係一個好大問題嘅，因為要會影響咩心臟啦、膀胱啦、消化系統啦、性器官啦同埋眼睛。嗱，膀胱同埋腸胃嗰度咧就好多人咧就有便秘啦、腹瀉啦，同埋啲尿頻啦，好多人咧就 end up 要立片啊，即係大人喎嚇。咁同埋食嘢方面咧，亦都有問題咧。佢因為已經係損壞神經啦，咁佢覺得冇胃口嘅，同埋可能有嘔啦，又有即係作悶啦。嗱，眼睛問題咧係好多嘅，呢個就係更加多人見到嘅。嗱，我個即係我太太個媽咪咧就係糖尿病者嚟嘅，咁佢咧我成日都叫喂，點解你唔出街啊？因為佢望出去嘅時候咧，佢見到個屋出邊咧 ，even 都係藍天空咧，佢見到好黑嘅。所以變咗嚟講，其實咧佢都係睇唔隻眼已經係睇唔到嘢，但係佢個 blood sugar 只係去到160、180或者係照9啊嗰啲average blood sugar 係9嘅喎 ，OK， 但係已經係好有問題嘅。咁所以如果你係繼續係咁咧，就好多人咧睇嘢佢都好蒙蒙查查睇唔到嘢啊，同埋咧令到佢心好慌啊，因為嗰陣時唔係咁㗎，依家變咗咁咪好弊。所以其實咧，呢啲咧係會常見到嘅。咁同埋咧，仲有性嘅問題啦，佢冇感覺嘅，冇性嘅功能啦，同埋成日出汗啊。OK， 咁呢個咧係一個，亦都係一個好嘅大問題。所以希望咧能夠應該俾啲 tips 你控制到，唔會去咗呢度。So later we'll give you more tips how to not prevent you the auto problem, neuropathy problem. Now. Also, you have the next one is called proximal neuropathy, which affect your nerve to the thigh, the hips, the buttocks, the leg, and certainly it might affect your abdomen and chest. Now, usually people who have that is they have pain in the hip through the thigh and to the buttocks, and then the muscles start getting weak. So the shrinking the thigh muscle, and they have difficulty sitting up or even getting up, and then they have problem with the stomach or the pain. This is really coming along. A lot of the diabetes that start feeling, hey, how come I got pain? You know, I didn't fall down, but they start getting pain in the hip. Well, this is probably one of the things that the proximal neuropathy will affect these people with a pain in with a nerve in the thigh and hip area. So again, later we'll talk about the tips. This is one area that might occur to you if you are not controlling your diabetes, okay? Now, okay, so actually, the next one is really on 各位朋友，仲有一個影響咧，就係你嘅大腿啦，你個腳啦，同埋你個大髀啦。 嗰啲神經系統開始損壞咧，嗱呢個咧就影響好多地方，亦都有可能有肚腹部痛啦。咁好多時咧，多數啲人咧就覺得喺個大髀開始痛，或者個 hip 即係喺個盤骨嗰度開始痛。咁有啲人就以為我就係跌親喎，其實唔係嘅，因為呢痛咧就開始一路係咁痛落去嘅時候咧，咁我咧就係會係覺得會係即係會係一路落去咧，咁嗰啲肌肉咧仲係因為痛咧，你唔喐咧，咁就開始收縮咯喎。咁越整越弊咧，就係你開始連坐同埋起身咧，你起唔到嘅，所以呢個係一個好大嘅問題。所以記住咧，一定要繼續處理呢個方案，就唔好俾佢去到呢度。咁依家我會解釋多啲點解你要去嗰度嘅。So and again, now next step is you're going to talk about mononeuropathy, which is damaging the single nerve, and usually those are the face, torso, arm, and legs. Now, quite a bit of people are actually we got that is they start getting double vision. Now, my mother-in-law is one of the person that actually got that because besides things are getting black outside, things are getting dark, according to her description. She is really getting fear to go out to the street because, her eyes are really what they see is before is a blue sky. Now it's all dark. On top of that, she started getting double vision. In other words, can see things clearly, everything double vision. And then some people actually got worse, got paralyzed in the face, and they got numbness of hand, fingers, and a hand become weak. They can't pick up things anymore. They start dropping things. And then they will get pain in the foot, in front of the thigh. All those things are coming. So really, the mononeuropathy can be bad for the diabetic patient. Now, you might say, well, what is their real blood sugar? My mother-in-law blood sugar is strictly about 160, 180 at the time. And she had difficulty to lower it down. And the thing is, the problem she has is you can see her double vision coming around and all that thing coming along. So really, at the end of the day, this is also a real problem for many of the diabetes, okay? 嗱，單神經系統病咧，就好多人咧就係佢係依個多數影響個面部啦，同埋手腳啦，同埋好多時咧個眼會影響，咁佢就會令到隻眼影響嘅時候，佢叫 double vision 啦，睇到兩樣嘢啦，同埋仲有啲手開始麻痹啦、冇力啦、跌啦，你帶啲嘢出嚟，佢拎住啲嘢出嚟就跌嘅，咁就開始痛啊！咁呢個亦都係一個好大嘅問題，所以見到今次咧，你睇下好多人都有不同嘅問題出現，所以一定要知道點去處置去防禦啦。So we had talked a lot about now quite a few neuropathy problems, but this is really good because now you know it is not that simple anymore, right? Because you can affect quite a bit different places. So now what we're going to do is talk about management and prevention. Now, really important is in order to prevent management, you have to keep your blood sugar level under control. That's why the A1C becomes so important because when you go to a doctor, they're going to take some blood sample out of you. And then your blood sample, they will check one thing for sure. Every doctor will do things. The pre-diabetic and diabetes, they will do the same test, A1C, hemoglobin A1C. Remember that? The amount of percentage of sugar attached to the hemoglobin. And it's every 3 months they measure. Is very accurate to understand what is your A1C. If you're between 80 to 130, hey, and after meal, you are pretty good. You are all right, okay? But if you are over that and 2 hours over that, your blood sugar continue to be 10 millimole per liter or 180 milligram per deal, wow, you have a real problem. Now, my mother-in-law is about 160, 180 all the time. So she does have that problem. And so we know the A1C doctor will be all measuring that. So you have to take steps to control the A1C. So the next thing you have to keep is your blood pressure in the target range, which is going to be under 130, right? The blood pressure, the systolic blood pressure is under 130. maybe 125 even better. And then your diastolic should be below 90, 85 and below. So make sure you keep that in range check. It's not 150, it's 130 and below. So make sure you are trying your best to get that. Cut down the salt intake. Your daily physical activity is so important. You have to make sure that you do your 10,000 steps and make sure that you have continue have 150 minutes of exercise in a week, right? So you're going to have that, and you have maintained your diet and low carb diets of 150 milligram, 50 gram per carbs in a day. Okay, so you divide it accordingly. You have to avoid smoking, drinking of liquor, maintain your healthy weight. Is BMI go down to 23. And certainly so important to drink Lowsutea daily before and after each meal. And you should drink 6 to 8 cups a day to manage your blood sugar. Now, with that, you keep your blood sugar level under control. Yes, you'll be in good shape. 嗱，各位同友，我講咗好多咧，好重要嘅 tips 咧，就係呢個，我知道好多有不同嘅問題咧，令到你個神經系統損壞啦。咁點去做呢樣嘢啊？第一，做呢樣嘢就控制你血糖水平。點控制血糖水平咧？就係你個第一要將你 A1C 咧喺飯前嘅時候咧要80至130個 milligram 或者4.7至7.2嘅 millimole per liter。咁最低限度咧，你知道咧，原來飯前咧我已經達到即係7.2以下啦，between 4啊幾，咁 it's very good。飯後咧亦都要2個小時少2小時咧，只係去到10以下，同埋咧係如果喺美國咧就180個 milligram per deal 啦。咁你一定要保持咧，你就血壓啦，記住啊，血壓要低喺咩範圍啊？130以下上壓，下壓咧就90以下或者80幾以下啦。咁日常要做運動啦，每日要做11萬步啦，亦都要行大概1萬步就要150分鐘一個禮拜嘅 exercise 啦。咁仲有咧就保持健康嘅飲食啦。你個 carbs 係150 gram 嘅 carbs 啦，冇食煙啦、飲酒啦，就保持呢個繼續身體嘅健康嘅重磅啦。你嘅 BMI 係應該 under 23啦。咁同埋咧最緊要飯前飯後咧飲去糖茶，因為去糖茶真係會幫助你咧降低血糖、膽固醇同埋呢個血壓。呢3高咧都幫助佢降低咧，佢係唔係藥嚟嘅？你只係飲得㗎啦。所以佢飲咗每日飲2包係8杯茶，咁自然咧你血糖咧就一定會 improve。咁同埋咧係幫助你係更繼續咧係降低你嘅血糖咧，同埋降低你膽固醇啦，同埋降低你血壓同埋排毒。哇，幾正啊！你可能夠令到你更加身體健康，保持你唔會變咗你血管你個 nerve damage 嘅問題。So each day you also need to inspect your foot regularly, because you know why? Because usually nerve damage is always start up with your foot, and you have to make sure your foot is moist, is moisturized, no cracks. You have to clean it very well. You have dry socks all the time so you don't get easy damage of feet. So if you damage, it might not heal and you're going to end up with gangrene. You have to cut the nail carefully, regularly, and you have to wear comfortable shoes. And that's very important. A lot of people don't realize you don't wear comfortable shoes, you got a blister. That's not going to be good. And also, a lot of time, diabetic now have a so-called special stocking, where it's really soft, so you prevent the impact. So you can ask the doctor for some of those information. But nevertheless, inspecting your foot and protect your foot is one of the very important first step you got to have. 嗱，仲有各位同學，你要令到你腳咧係要好圓滑啦，要整到腳乾淨啦，要同埋咧就要着襪啦，同埋剪腳趾甲嘅時候，你小心唔好剪到啲腳甲去變咗佢能夠發炎啦。要着啲好舒服鞋啦，唔會你嘅鞋會有泡啦或者好緊啦。咁仲要咧係着啲襪咧係幫助即係依家有diabetic襪咧係幫助你有 soft impact 同埋咧有箍得緊啲嘅，咁你能夠 increase 你個 仲有可以 increase 你嘅 circulation 嘅。咁呢樣嘢係好正嘅。咁記住咧 ，take care 你隻腳係好緊要嘅。Now, a lot of people don't realize you really got to do lifestyle changes. And basically, if you're pre-diabetic, you start off lifestyle changes. You know what? You starting forming your habit. Eventually, you even become a diabetes. You are there. You know how to handle it. And that's what is so important. And that's the reason why I suggest to so many people that, wow, you got to really learn how to change your lifestyle. Now, that is something that you must do. Now, how do you change lifestyle? One is you're not going to drink any more alcohol or very, very little, just one quarter glass of red wine, for example. Cut down all your sugar drink, like, for example, no more bubble teas. And that is probably one of the worst drinks you should have. And all the juice, for example, your juice is actually not good. You can eat a fruit better than drink juice, right? You have to replace all refined carbs, eat whole grain food, like with fibers, take a lot of vegetables. Remember, half plates, everything is vegetable with high fiber. You have to walk 10,000 steps, at least 1 hour per day of exercise. You want intense exercise, get a barbell. 10 to 15 minutes will be very good intense exercise. You have to reduce saturated fat food, like, for example, no longer go to McDonald's, eat a lot of chips and fries, because that is not going to get good for you. And then you're going to sleep better. Get very good sleep, at least 7 hours sleep, not 5 hours, 7 hours sleep, and you don't smoke. And I think with that change, you change your lifestyle, that will definitely help you to prevent all that coming problem that come to you. Wow, isn't that great? I think that is something that why we start talking all that is prepare yourself. And to me, I actually, to be honest, I wasn't as good as this either earlier, 4 years ago, until my doctor said, hey, you are ICU nurse, man. You know what happened. If you don't do it, you'll be a diabetes. And that's alerted me, and I started changing lifestyle, did all that low carb diet, exercise, and make Lowsutea. You know what? My A1C is 6 and 5.9. Yes, I didn't go 5.7. I'm still trying hard, but I dropped my weight from 225 all the way to 180, and then eventually I moved it back to 190 to 195, around this range. I still need to go back to 185, but this is the kind of things that you will experience, and you will have to change your lifestyle. And I myself is also learning together with you at the same time. But the doctors are happy because they said, you were almost to be a diabetes, but now you're not. You are pre-diabetic, and you are still between 6 and 5.9 A1C, which is very good. So the doctors are very happy, and they said, you are prevented all that for yourself to be very, very future sickness, and this is helpful for you. 嗱，各位同學，你真係要有生活改變嘅。嗱，咩叫生活改變啊？你一定要唔好飲嗰啲酒啦，酒啊，其實真係尤其是葡萄酒咧。如果你每晚飲葡萄酒，你血糖一定上升嘅。咁就減低糖嘅食量咧，由 bubble tea 啦，哇，嗰啲好差喎。咁要食多谷米嘅食物啦，要纖維嘅食物啦，低碳水化嘅食物咧，即係150 gram 嘅 carbs 嘅食物喎，低成日喎嚇。高纖維喎，咁你即係食好多菜啦。每日走1萬步啊，最少1個鐘頭1個小時嘅工作。如果唔係咧，就最低係1個禮拜150分鐘嘅 exercise。OK， 咁變咗嚟講，你都係 very good 係咪？咁仲有啦，你運動嘅時候咧，如果你有機會咧做到有啞鈴咧上落啊，咁上去啊，咁去做10至15分鐘啊，咁其實對你係10分好嘅。咁呢個係好重要，咁就係減少你好多嘅飽和嘅脂肪啦，即係話去麥當勞食好多 chips 嗰啲咧，即係薯條嗰啲就 forget it 啦。OK， 咁你睡眠咧最緊要瞓7個鐘頭，唔好瞓5個鐘頭，7個鐘頭就要減低食煙。咁如果你係習慣咗呢樣咧，係得唔得咧？係得嘅，同埋亦都係可以嘅，同埋亦都係好容易做嘅。所以你一定要做到呢樣嘢咧，要幫助你好大。Really, at the end of the day, if you can able to help you out to basically to get yourself to form this habit, you can actually change. And as I said, I did it myself, and I'm sure a lot of people did it. My patient also did it. So you can be successful. It's up to you to really do it or not. 我嘅朋友真係做到喎，因為我見到由 A1C 10或者8點幾、9點幾，好跌到咩啊5.7啊，哇，好過嘢我都係依家5.9嘅啫嚇，但係佢好嘢過我 ，OK。So weight loss is a very important element to help you to control your A1C. Now, weight loss is usually lost gradually. And it's not boom, like a couple months you lost 10 pounds. Because usually you lost about 2 to 3 pounds a month is a very good progress. Don't try to get yourself 10 kg a month. It's not good for you. So you gradually lose weight. And eventually you want to get your BMI to about 18 to 25 for Asians. I think that is going to be a very good target for you. So for Asian, actually should be BMI should be 23. For Americans should be about 25. Now you will start seeing if you have lose weight, you got seeing right away. You know what going to improve? Your A1C improve. If you lose 10% of your weight, body weight, you usually improve 1% of A1C. Wow, that is really good. I tell you, this is wonderful news. I see it for myself. When I lose my pound from 225 pounds all the way 200, my A1C is substantially improved. As we move on further, A1C further improve. And so you gotta really seek your doctor help. If your BMI is like 30 and above and you can't come down, then you gotta talk to them to see what kind of program to help you. Also very important, you have to continue to hydrate yourself, drink a lot of water, and weigh yourself regularly, like every other day or every day. I now weigh myself every day. Give me encouragement to say, wow, hey man, yesterday I went to eat buffet. You know what? I gained 2-3 pounds. It's very easy, by the way. But then I start right away learn not to eat so much more. And my weight, I continue to slowly come back down, half a pound, half a pound. Eventually go back to my regular diet target and go further lower. So very important, really, you have to keep track, because you don't keep track, you tend to be very easy, bam, go up there. Whoa, I surprised that my weight was high, okay? So really, weight is definitely help you to lower your A1C or better control your blood sugar. 10% weight and 1 point A1C, keep that in mind, okay? 嗱，減肥咧係好緊要嘅，因為咧當你係減肥嘅時候，就唔好諗住嘣一聲減好多落嚟，即係10磅嗰落嚟咧就唔正常。每個月減2磅咧係好 OK 嘅。咁好重要咧，你嘅 A1C 個 BMI 咧就喺大概，如果喺美國人嗰啲咧就大概25%啦，喺 Asian 即係亞洲人咧應該喺23裏邊嘅。咁所以咧，其實咧你個 A1 即係你個 BMI 咧，如果23咧係 very good， 咁你能夠繼續落去減咧，你個血糖一定會減得好嘅。咁但係如果你係個 BMI 型到30點啊，即係有大肚擔又30嘅時候咧，咁你咧就可能要揾下醫生問下佢有咩辦法幫你去減下肥啦，或者做個 exercise program 啊，食材方面又要研究啊，咁呢啲嘢咧全部咧係有組織嘅計劃咧做出嚟咧，係幫助你降低你血糖嘅。嗱，點解飲水好緊要咧？因為飲水咧，點解我哋依家製 Lowsutea 出嚟咧，去糖茶咧，要有一日飲2個 liter Lowsutea 咧係有解嘅。第一，如果你飲咗2個 liter， 再加你1個 liter 其他飲品咧，其實你血咧就唔會好健，唔會好健嘅時候咧就唔會開始 plug up 你啲嘢更加厲害。所以咧 hydration 係好重要嘅，能夠繼續幫你降低血糖，同埋咧就肯定咗係降低你磅數。好多糖友就話：哇，飲唔到咁多水喎。係，如果你飲唔到咁多水咧，個血糖多數係會高啲嘅。所以你唔想你血糖更加高啲嘅，係咁塞咧，飲水係好重要。所以8杯茶咧係一個 good process 嚟嘅，同埋你尿咧亦都係掉咗好多嘅即係廢物出嚟啦，同埋係咪正啲咧？ 當然會係啦。Now, everybody forgot is that if you are stressed, in other words, you are, oh, I'm stressed. Stress actually is not good for any type 2 diabetes because stress will create the body to say, I need more sugar to come out to ready for war, right? So we'll end up to have more sugar you need it in the body. So do not get yourself stressed. You need to use more relaxation exercise, technique like yoga. You got to stay active, see happy things. You may want to talk to your friends, share your difficulties with your friend. Always keep a sense of humor, laughter. Actually, that would be much better medicine than, getting all worried and so forth. And maybe join a support group and talk to us. I have a lot of patients actually at nighttime write to me, and I kind of respond to them what they think. And if they have some medical healthcare problem, I actually talk to some of my doctor friends to give them some information so they can less worry. A lot of time is because of the fact that it's unknown. If do not know, you become very stressful. Now, world is actually getting more and more stressful, especially with COVID. Wow, man, a lot of problem comes in. So more importantly, if you can able to get yourself less stressed, your blood sugar will actually definitely improve. So keep in mind, avoid stress is so important. 嗱，各位朋友，好重要咧，其實咧減壓咧係幫助你降低血糖嘅。嗱，我成日講唔係淨係食 exercise 磅重，但係原來你仲要減壓喎。減壓咧係最精神上咧係好重要嘅，因為當你壓力大嘅時候咧，你身體就會做多啲糖出嚟，準備你打仗。咁所以你一定要減壓。咁減壓點減啊？當然啦，你有睇下音樂啦，睇下電視啦，同朋友傾下偈啦，多啲朋友傾偈係好重要嘅。因為好多時咧就係因為我哋個人咧裏邊有好多情緒嘅問題啦。如果同朋友傾咗偈之後咧，咁我就降低咗情緒問題啦。咁或者係 join 咗一啲 support group 啊，傾下偈啊，糖尿病所謂咁更加了解咧，咁你個人咧就會更加係開心啲嘅。咁所以變咗嚟講咧，減壓咧係一個十分重要嘅問題，十分重要嘅環節，幫助你係降低你個糖尿即係糖喺血糖嘅問題嘅。So at the end of the day, we understand high blood sugar, high glucose level will actually eventually get you to plug up the entire body. So eventually it will start damage your nerve. And 50% of the diabetic patient actually suffer some form of neuropathy. In other words, if the nerve is start getting damaged, and then that becomes a most common problem for all diabetes. And don't think that only diabetic were affected. Pre-diabetic also got affected. So today we'll talk about what is the peripheral neuropathy, which is like the extremities, and what is the autonomic neuropathy, which is like the affect a major organ with heart, vagus nerve, and stomach. The proximal neuropathy, like the extremity, monoperiphery, like the face and so forth. So we all talk about that. So you have all these neuropathy that you need to watch out. And how do you manage that? How do you prevent that? Well, very important is control your blood sugar levels. How do you control blood sugar level? You got to really change your lifestyle and able to basically has to control diet, your exercise, your weight, and so listen to our webinar and drink Lowsutea. Now, really, all these neuropathy, the startup point you usually are your foot and leg. Your feet and leg is the regular things that you start up. So you need to every day inspect. See, do I really have nerve damage that I can feel anymore? Or I feel numb? You got to get the doctor to check with you. And certainly weight loss is an excellent way to prevent the neuropathy, because when you lost the weight, blood sugar go down. When blood sugar go down, you know what? You will not have nerve damage. And with that, you have start losing your weight. You got also one item, you got to start, you lose your weight 10% of body weight, you get lower than 1% A1C, right? And then you have to avoid stress. Stress increase your blood sugar. So you want to take as little stress as possible, talk to your friend, relax yourself so your blood sugar doesn't go up. And last but not least, really need to drink Lowsutea before and after meal to manage your blood sugar level. You have to drink 6 to 8 glasses. If you can drink 8 glasses a day, that's perfect. You know why? Because you will achieve 2 liters of Lowsutea to help you to become a much more hydrated, the blood not become thick, and you will be less chances your blood start thickening to plug everywhere. So I hope today's webinar give you the good insight of what is neuropathy. Then that way you can able to start preventing. More important, you have to aware the sign and symptom, but prevented by high blood sugar, which if you can prevent that, all that would not be here. So you can able to have a healthy life to go on. 各位同學，今日我講咗好多嘢咧，係關於神經系統損壞，因為個糖太高，血糖太高，50%嘅病人咧，如果糖尿病病者都有呢個問題嘅，其實好常見㗎。咁同埋仲有前期都有呢個問題嘅，因為好多人咧開始前期咧就已經覺得腳開始冧啦，即係去6點幾嗰啲咧 A1C 去6.4啊，過上下嘅時候就可以有啲咁嘅感覺嘅。咁呢個係常見嘅問題。咁其實咧第一個問題就多數喺個叫做即係我哋個 Peripheral Neuropathy 就係我哋即係手腳啊嗰啲地方開始發現啦。第二樣嘢咧就會有嗰個身體嘅問題啦，咁好多時咧就係腸胃啊、便秘啊呢啲全部出現啦，咁同埋手腳亦都有呢個感受到咧係唔係咁好啦，同埋亦都有啲人咧就令到盤骨上啊好又會影響痛啊嗰啲東西啦，咁仲有咧即係面部咧開始麻痹啦，咁呢啲咧係全部有不同嘅可以講為不同嘅神經系統嘅損壞，咁所以咧仲有咧。咁點樣管理呢樣嘢咧？咁其實最用咧就管理個血糖。當你控制到血糖嘅時候咧，其實呢啲咧全部都可能未必有嘅。咁就係仲有點咧？就第一，你轉咗你個自己嘅lifestyle， 即係 lifestyle， 即係如果降低血糖之後咧，你 lifestyle 轉咗咧 ，most likely 咧呢啲情況出現咧都會少咗好多，即係機會少好多。咁你風險就降低咗啦。咁但係好重要咧，每日你一定要檢查係腳。因為腳咧就係你個開始個問題出現嘅，喺腳方面咧，依個感受咧會覺得好似有個tingling feeling 啊，咁所以咧腳咧係第一個地方要 watch 嘅。第二個咧就係你個 weight loss， 如果你減低10% 嘅 weight 咧，10% 嘅 weight 咧，你個重磅咧，咁其實咧你 A1C 係 improve 1% 好緊要喎，咁呢個好重要嘅。咁同埋咧減壓啊，因為減壓咧個人咧減壓就糖會高嘅，咁減壓咗之後糖會帶翻低，咁啊更加理想啦。咁最後咧真係飲虛糖茶。嗱，好多人唔知道咧點解飲虛糖有2個 liter 嘅茶咧，因為當你飲咗2個 liter 嘅茶咧，2個 liter 即係水分喎，咁嚟將啲血咧係大攣咗咧。咁你血糖亦都唔會高啦，但係糖尿呢個虛糖茶亦都幫助降低血糖、膽固醇同埋排毒啦，同埋你血壓啦，咁全部都係一個好嘢嘅。呢個唔係藥，呢個係一個食材，係幫助到呢樣嘢。咁希望今日嘅所講咗咧，係令到多啲了解咩叫周邊神經、自主神經同埋近專神經同埋單神經嘅病嘅神經系統嘅損壞。咁你開始了解咗之後咧，你開始注重啲嘢咧，就可以防備，同埋咧就繼續減低血糖嘅防備。咁你就會繼續會更加係令到你身體健康。OK。So thank you very much for the information. I have a question from Eating Jabong, Pamelo, Book. Okay. I think Book, I don't know the blood sugar on Bolok. I think let me double check that real quick. The fruits, actually, quite a few fruits, sometimes there are certain fruits are good and sometimes certain fruit is not good. And I don't know, I don't think pomelo is actually really high carb, because I remember carbs are basically around, let's see, pomelo is, I think the carb, I don't know the carbs of pomelo. I have to look it up, but I do remember pomelo, the carbs are not as high as what we look at. So let's see, we might look it up. Okay. You might want to look up on the if you have a chance, I would suggest you Gordon, I don't have that information of pomelo, but I remember pomelo is not a very high carbs fruits. So you can check it out, see whether you know, the pomelo carbs will be good or not. If you look at the you know, I couldn't get into my website right now, but if they are about 10 or 20, it's not bad actually, but they do have a lot of fibers, I remember. But I don't remember this a high carbs fruits on this one. So maybe perhaps you can look it up on Google's and take a look. So that way you will see whether that will be good for you or not. But more important, fruits-wise, the good fruits actually is apple, because they are low glycemic glycemic fruits. And so more important, you want to do that is eating fruits that is more low carb. If you are 20, if you are, you know, like for example, you are 20%, 20 gram carbs, it still could be good, because basically you're not going to eat a lot of it, right? And on top of that, the key is the fruits have a lot of fibers. That will be really good for you. So more important is look at a percent of gram of carbs. I'm just not familiar with the number of carbs. I remember it's not a high carb fruit, that's right. So do check it out, because I don't right now I couldn't get into the internet. So if so I couldn't answer the amount of carb. But if you get less than 20, that's still a good fruits. I remember pomelo is actually high fiber, so it's a good fruit for people who have who can eat that. And a lot of Thai salad are using pomelo, which is a good salad actually. So anyway, I hope that will help you out. Sorry about that. I couldn't get into the internet and look up the amount of carbs. So you know, that way we can give you more information. And yeah, somehow I couldn't get the amount of carbs. You should look it up, and I think that will be I think it's not a bad fruits as I understand it, but check it out, because I couldn't get into the internet right now, so I can't remember. But thanks for asking a question though, Gordon. That was a good question. Are there any other questions that people want to ask? Because I would like to, you know, make sure that you guys have questions. If you can answer, I could ask, or you can write to me at this address, andy@wafong.com. I could help you answer questions if you want to. So that would be good. I really appreciate all your my friends here from all over the world, from Hawaii, from Philippines, from Los Angeles, from Hawaii, from Canada, Hong Kong, joining the meeting to learn about nerve damage, so they can learning how to manage it and prevent the problem. So this is really good. So I wish you guys have a very good weekend. And Gordon, thank you for asking those questions. And I will see you next week. And next week will be another good webinar coming around. So I will send you guys invitation. And thank you very much. Any other question? If no more question, I will say goodbye to everybody. Have a very nice weekend. Thank you again.